Emmanuel Macron hosts British Prime Minister Theresa May for lunch today, ahead of this weekend's 100th anniversary celebrations of the First World War. The French president has been touring the battlefields of World War I to mark the centenary. Yesterday he laid a wreath at the cemetery in Notre-Dame de Lorette, but he's also been using his tour as an opportunity to try to reconnect with French voters, paying a visit to the French Renault factory in Maubeuge. Well, to discuss this with me now and to see how his tour's been going down, I'm joined by Euronews' Annelise Borges, who's in Albert in the Somme. Well, Annelise, good morning. President Macron's meeting Theresa May today. What's going to be on the agenda?
Good morning, Isabel. Well, I can tell you what is not going to be in the agenda, at least officially, and that is Brexit. According to the program, that is not going to be a topic of discussion when the French President Emmanuel Macron hosts the British Prime Minister Theresa May for lunch here at Albert. They are going to be holding a bilateral meeting and then having lunch together. At least, of course, that is officially, because it's hard to imagine what else they're going to be talking about during that bilateral meeting before their lunch. After that, they are going to be traveling to Thiepval, where they're going to visit a war monument for British and South African soldiers killed in the battles of Somme. And there's plenty more to come for Emmanuel Macron. This weekend is going to be a busy weekend with several different events organized. He will be hosting, of course, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. And later today, some of the other guests will start to arrive at around 9 p.m. local time. The U.S. President Donald Trump will be landing in Paris, and he will be the guest of honor for a lunch at the Élysée Palace on Saturday.
Well, it's obviously been a very busy time for Emmanuel Macron. We saw him touring the World War I battlefields, but he's also been trying to kind of reconnect with his voters with trips that have a bit more contemporary relevance, let's say. Has that been a success?
Well, this was going to be a difficult week for Emmanuel Macron on that front, and he knew it, because this is an area where voters tend to vote for the right. In last year's elections, they voted for the National Front here in this part of the country. The National Front made significant scores in this part of France. So Emmanuel Macron knew he doesn't have a very large fan base in this part. So there were some tense moments when he attempted to convey his ideas and how committed he still is to bringing change to France. Yesterday, during a visit to a Renault factory, he experienced yet another one of those moments, but also for a change, he got some support. Take a listen.
We're not here to make a scene. We're here to try to succeed, okay?
We've succeeded without you, Mr. Macron. The employees have been here for 40 years. They've succeeded without you. Today, you're taking from the workers, you're taking from pensioners, Mr. Macron. You're not welcome here, Mr. Macron. I've been with Renault for 27 years. Renault feeds me, not you.
If you have the courtesy to listen, can I talk?
So there you have it, some applause for Emmanuel Macron. It's very interesting to note how determined the French president still is in conveying his message, even when some voters don't necessarily want to listen. That was the case in several stops throughout this trip. But of course, he also had a chance to speak to people, to listen to their demands. But I don't know if that's going to do anything to change Emmanuel Macron's strategy. He insists he remains committed to bringing about change, to reinventing France so this country becomes more competitive.